Now we're going to discuss the drone bee and his role in the hive. The drone bees are the male bees in the hive, and you'll notice that they have a fat little abdomen. They're a short, kind of stubby bee. They're very chubby looking, and they have a short, fat abdomen. They have a quite pronounced thorax, and are sometimes their thorax sometimes is what will cause people to confuse a drone bee with a queen bee, is that larger thorax. One of the easiest ways to identify a drone bee is his eyes. The eyes of a drone bee are really quite pronounced. They're large, and the reason is he has to be able, in what is called the drone mating areas, where all of the boy bees kind of congregate and draw the queen bees, the virgin queens, to that area during their nuptial flight. He has to be able to see a queen bee on her wing and catch up to her and mate with her while they are both flying. So his eyes are large, and they have a very specific role. The drone bee also has large wings. He has that fat little body that he has to fly around, and again has to be able to see and then catch up to and mate with a queen bee while on wings. So he needs powerful wings. Another way to be able to tell a drone bee is their cute little buzzy noise. When you call them a drone, they do sound like droning on is a good way to describe their buzzy noise. Drone bees do not sting. They are stingless, and they do absolutely nothing in the hive from a work perspective. They are typically 5 to 15% of the population of the colony, and that's one of the things that you will develop a good eye for, on how many frames of drone brood, and we'll take a look at some drone brood when we go through the inspection portion of our training. How many frames of drone brood do you have, and is it 5 to 10% of the frames in your hive? Their job is to mate with the queen, as I mentioned. Their job is also to provide morale for the rest of the hive. The worker bees love having the drones around, because the drones are, when drones are in proper proportion to the rest of the population, they are a sign of health. They are a sign that this colony is so strong that it can feed and care for not only all of the bees that are working, but also a whole population of bees whose only job it is to continue the DNA of this colony in the world. Bees want to continue their DNA so that they are, they exist. So when there is enough abundance that there is 5 to 15% of the population is drone bees, it makes everybody feel happy, like there's abundance in the hive. And so drones account for morale. And the worker bees, they feed, the drones, they clean the drones, they do everything for them. And the calmest, gentlest hives I've ever worked in have a good population of drones. And so the sign of balance as it pertains to health is there. In this area in Northern Virginia, as much as the worker bees love having those little drones around to know that they are going to go mate and represent the hive, you know, in nature for till the end of time, the drone brood or the drone bees are evicted in autumn. So around September or October, you'll see those drone bees trying to, after they've gone on mating flights, trying to come back to the hive so that they can be fed. And the worker bees won't let them in. They're going to let them stay out, and they'll starve. And then in the spring, when the hive is able to care for additional non-working, only breeding bees, they'll start to rear drones again. But it's sad. In the autumn, you'll see worker bees will drag those drone bees off so that they do not compete for resources in the hive. Their gestation, when they are first put into their cells by the queen bees. First of all, there's the drone brood looks slightly different, and we'll see this in the inspection portion of the training. They're larger cells, and they have sort of a puffy bubble capping to them to fit those chubby little bees inside. So they have a gestation of 24 days, so 3 days longer even than our worker bees. And this particular, those two things, the fact that they have a larger cell and also the longer gestation, is part of what predisposes the drones to attracting the varroa mites in their cells. And we'll talk about that a little bit later.